today. This is Liz in a very sunny Vancouver. I have something to share with you today. I'm sewing on the Janome M7 Continental, and before I show you how to do part of the project that I'm busy with, I wanted to show you the thread stand. Notice that we have got the thread through both of the little thread guides, because that gives you a better result, because this machine sews at such a high speed. Then I want to come down to the bobbin area, and you will see that I have the HP plate on the machine. That's a high performance needle plate, and it only has a hole for straight stitching over on the left side of the needle plate. You might be able to see that there. And I'm not going to be doing that because, as you'll notice, I have a twin needle in the machine and a 4mm wide twin needle. So that's not going to work with that needle plate. So what I need to do is remove the needle plate, and I'm going to go up to the screen and touch the lock function, and then it has this on the screen which says to me to remove my needle plate. So I'm going to touch that and see how my needle plate just pops up with magnets and electronics, and then I'm going to pop in the next needle plate, which is our one with a 9mm wide opening. And here we are. We have got everything set up now for the machine. Notice that I have got obviously 2 threads because I'm using a twin needle. That how you thread up for that is, of course, as you saw, we had 2 spool pins on the back of the machine. So I simply threaded up and then brought the thread through the machine as though I had 1 thread, and then separated it just above the needles, and made sure that my left spool pin up at the top of the machine corresponded to the left needle here. Okay, so I'm just going to get myself situated with the project, and then I will show you more. Okay, back to sewing with the twin needle on my project. I did give you a sneak peek of what this project was on the last weekend. It is an embroidered wall hanging. It's a design by OESD Embroideries, and it's called Picturesque Peacock. And I have got the twin needle in, and I am stitching on top of my bias tape, fusible bias tape. This is what that looks like. I purchased it, and I have already ironed it and fused it to the joins between each of my embroidered tiles. And I am now stitching this down with the twin needle. That's a labor saving because I'm stitching 2 rows of stitching in one go. Of course, I could do it with a single needle, but I'd have to stitch on either side of the bias tape if that was the case. Now, I could do this twin needle work as my quilting. Of course, the back of my quilt would then show that sort of interlock stitching that you get on the back of a twin needle, and I didn't want that. I also don't intend for this to be like a bed quilt with batting, because it is a wall hanging, and if you were to feel it, it's already pretty thick with interfacing and thickish stabilizer to support all the stitches in my embroidery. So what I'm doing is I'm simply stitching this through the layers of my embroidery and interfacing and cutaway stabilizer. And afterwards, my plan is to use the backing fabric for the quilt and simply apply it in an envelope style fashion, where I will put it right sides to this project. So all the way around, leaving an opening to turn it out to the right side, then make sure all my edges are nice and flat, and then top stitch around the edge. So I won't actually have a binding on this around the edge. I also didn't want that. I wanted it to be flat on the edges. And at some point as well, I will also attach some fabric at the back for my rod to go on, so that it can be hung on the wall. I stopped at this point because I wanted to show you how I come to the end of this. I come up as close as I need to be and then hit my tie off, and then it simply makes my stitching do the lock stitch, and then I use the scissors to cut that thread. So there we are. That is sort of double the stitching done in one go with a twin needle. And when this quilt is completely finished, I will post this Janome Life posting showing these videos, as well as a picture of or photograph of the completed project. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions about how to use a twin needle and when to use a twin needle, please pop those questions into the comment box at the end of this post. And we have lots more sewing fun coming up for you in the coming weeks.